1,700 Cargill workers have been locked out for more than 3 weeks, and now the union representing those employees is claiming the company violated federal labor laws.
And as several wildfires continue to burn in Colorado, our fire danger finally goes down today in most spots. That will help fire crews. Cooler temps and less wind for your Thursday, except southern Colorado won't get that reprieve. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Steve Stager. Katie's keeping an eye on the forecast, which is getting a little bit nicer today if you don't enjoy that super hot weather.
Right. If you're saying I'm over the upper 80s and low 90s, we get a break from the heat today. The mountains, it's a gorgeous start, a little bit cooler there as well. We watched a front roll in overnight, increasing the winds from the north, which we have been watching this morning. It will still be breezy at times, but staying dry today through the start of the weekend. And our next chance for seeing a little more wet weather is set to arrive late on Sunday. So a dry weather pattern, gusty winds. There is no red flag warning in place for Denver, but you can see from Colorado Springs south and east, we are seeing those strong winds as of this morning. And a red flag warning has been issued for this afternoon and evening. Pueblo, south and over the southwestern corner of Colorado, fire danger does remain a concern. Tomorrow, Friday, the National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch. That's most of the western half of the state. As the winds pick up, shift in from the west, it is dry this morning, and temperatures, we are in the upper 50s downtown to Fort Collins, so a degree or two cooler than this time yesterday. But as you can see from our planner, it's not going to be as warm. 70 degrees by 11 o'clock, very comfortable conditions, winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour max in Denver, but the winds will continue to be strong over portions of the plains and south. Our 3-day forecast, the heat builds right back in though, so if you're saying I miss the 90s for today, then so tomorrow it's going to be 91 degrees. It'll be mild on Saturday and much cooler with, again, Brianna, we're tracking some wet weather to round out the weekend.
Katie, thank you so much. Right now, taking a live look of I-25 near 23rd Avenue. So right near Empower Field, where no issues to report when it comes to crashes this morning. We're just seeing that morning rush hour traffic start to pick up for anyone heading southbound or northbound along I-25. I do want to switch things over to our main maps and get to your drive time. So you can see along 225, we're seeing heavy delays for anyone just after Parker Road. Northbound to I-70, we're also seeing slowdowns, and then I-25 stop and go traffic really all the way from the North Washington area down to Bellevue. So if you are taking I-25 this morning from the Tech Center to downtown, you're looking at a 16-minute drive for anyone heading northbound and almost 20 minutes for anyone from downtown to the Tech Center, slowing down to 41 miles per hour.
Brianna, thank you. One person is in custody after an apartment fire and bomb scare last night in Boulder. Fire crews found a suspicious package as they were working a fire at an apartment building on West Moorhead Circle, south of Table Mesa Drive and west of Highway 36. As a result, the apartments were evacuated for a little while. Emergency crews eventually cleared the scene late last night. They say they've arrested one person for an attempted arson incident. That person has not been identified.
A community farm in Arvada is fighting to keep its lease on city-owned land at Majestic View Nature Center. The city of Arvada says it's ending Frontline Farming's lease over safety and compliance concerns, including an unauthorized electrical wire found on that property. Frontline Farming says the site grows about 25,000 pounds of food a year, most of which goes to the community. The founder says they gave out food to 215 families and donated 11,000 pounds of produce to Arvada Community Table last year.
People aren't able to access fresh food. It's become the exception, and the ability for community members, neighbors, people in need to have this fresh food in their home is it's just absolutely incredible, and it's something that we should really work to preserve.
The city said they're allowing Frontline Farming to finish out the season through November 2026. In the meantime, the farm says they'll be fighting against this lease termination, starting by sharing their story at next week's City Council meeting. Automated license plate readers are mixing up similar looking letters and numbers and leaving innocent drivers to try to deal with the fallout from all of this. Colorado license plates can have both zeros and O's. I heard from a lot of drivers whose plates have been misread because of that. Some have been ticketed, others pulled over. The state says they changed the font to try to make the O's and zeros more distinguishable, but that wasn't enough to always tell them apart. This has become a real problem since the state moved to a 4-letter and 2-number format, which puts O's and zeros on the same side of the plate. It was a big enough problem that they made another change.
About halfway through our configuration that begins with E, we were able to eliminate any future production of license plates with the O on that numeric side to help avoid the confusion. From what I see anyway, the scope of that misidentification isn't vast and broad. It's not happening constantly.
If you're like me, you hear this story, you're going to start watching every license plate to see if you could spot the O on the right-hand side. If your plate is getting caught in the confusion, you can go to the DMV and request a new plate. Individual counties, though, have the discretion on whether or not to waive fees.
The latest drought monitor comes out today, and much of the state is already experiencing some sort of drought, and businesses that are heavily reliant on Colorado's waterways say they are taking a hit.
9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj is live from Golden, where she's looking into the impact on anglers this morning. Shalima.
Yeah, that's right. Anglers who say that things are drastically different this season. We heard from the owner of a fly shop who earns his living on the banks of Clear Creek, and he says so far bookings are down around 40%. So that's a pretty big hit for him to be taking right now. Matt Sander actually runs Canyon Fly Shop, and he is also a fishing guide. And typically at this time of year, he is running 8 to 10 trips per week, but so far numbers are way down. Sander says he is hearing from customers worried about the impact of drought on fishing, but the reality, though, is quite different. He says low water on Clear Creek has actually pushed the season well ahead of schedule, meaning more trout and more fish caught for anyone who's actually willing to get out there on the water.
You know, we're probably about a month ahead or like 3 weeks ahead. And if you look at the water, we couldn't possibly be in better situation for the next month or so for really good fishing conditions.
Now, Matt's really hoping that no one is going to be writing off the season just yet. He says that right now he has learned that one of the most important things really is educating the public. So that's what he has been trying to do about the actual impact of drought on fishing. And this is actually his first drought season while operating for the last 3 years. So it's also been a learning experience for him as well. Reporting live, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
Yeah, the drought is affecting so many sectors of Colorado. Shalima, thank you. It's been more than 3 weeks since Cargill locked about 1,700 workers out of its beef processing plant in Fort Morgan. Now the union representing those employees is claiming the company violated federal labor laws. Cargill barred employees from returning to work after union members voted down a contract offer last month. The union said it was not enough to keep up with the rising cost of living, and the company has argued the lockout is necessary because of the potential for a work stoppage. The union has now filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. It accuses the company of interfering in the rights of workers to collectively bargain and of changing the terms and conditions of employment. We asked an employment attorney how long this could all take to play out.
It depends. It depends on how negotiations go between the parties. I think usually the way this resolves is when you've got a collective bargaining agreement kind of at the root of all the issue here. That tends to be kind of a global resolution of everything involved. So there's a chance that they could come to an agreement on the collective bargaining stuff and find a way to factor in the NLRB charges with that and kind of disperse with it all at once.
Since the lockout began, Cargill has been sending cattle to other plants to avoid disruptions in beef processing. We reached out to Cargill to get the company's response to the complaint. We have not yet heard back.
May have been a tough end of the season last year for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, but he has now become the first $500 million man in the NFL. Ugh. The Chiefs are adding 2 years to Mahomes' contract and a reworked contract that ties him with Kansas City through 2033 at a value of $504.75 million, a value that makes it the first NFL deal valued at over $500 million.